Next on Valley News Live at 5, a lesson we can all use, especially this time of year. One good turn deserves another. The ripple effect that started at a sandwich shop. Plus, an award-winning recipe from a local 5th grader and how you can duplicate it. Valley News Live at 5 starts right now.
Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
A warning this evening about the dangers of fire this time of year and ways to keep your home from going up in flames ahead of the holidays. It follows an overnight fire in North Moorhead that destroyed a home. Valley News Team's Callie Hubbard has our story.
Moorhead officials say the late-night fire was fueled by a Christmas tree that caught fire. As you can see, flames made their way through a large part of the home. The fire was traced to a faulty electrical cord connected to the tree's lights, which were left on. Crews were able to keep flames from spreading to the surrounding mobile homes. The fire is a lesson to us all.
We've never had a tree catch on fire of any bulbs that people have purchased from us. The reason that anybody would have a problem with a fire in a tree is usually, like most families, they keep the bulbs for years and years and use them over. As they get used and folded and wires get exposed.
Jim Gumpf, president of Gumpf Displays in Fargo, sells Christmas decorations to people all over the valley. He decorated downtown Fargo for 60 years, and his latest project?
Drayton, yeah, City of Drayton. So those are, that's a C9 bulb.
Gumpf knows about many things bright and what can cause problems for homeowners with Christmas trees.
The main thing is just exposure. Sometimes there's animals that, like a cat sometimes would jump in a tree. They could mess around the wires. They might bite, some of them bite wires, and dogs do too.
Strings of lights, they're not made to be strung more than 3 strings together. They have a chance of overheating.
West Fargo Fire Chief Dan Fuller says live Christmas trees are a bigger fire hazard than fake ones, but fake ones can still short out and cause a fire.
Any candles you have in the home or any open flames for decoration, you want to make sure there's at least a foot of clearance between the candle and any combustible products, a foot or more.
Both Gumpf and Fuller remind you to shut off the lights when you go to bed or leave the house, having this conversation sooner rather than later. In the Red River Valley, Callie Hubbard, Valley News Live.
For the latest on this story, you can download our VNL News app. Our gray skies will eventually clear up, right? Let's find out how this evening looks. Hutch?
Thanks so much, Andrea. As we take a look at that satellite, we still see lingering clouds in the very far southern valley, reaching up into northern portions of Minnesota. But we're seeing that trend towards clearer weather even here in the FM area, and Grand Forks has been clear for some time. So this cloud deck, really limited temperatures. We have near 30-degree readings where the clouds exist, and cooling from the 40s it is in the James River Valley today as that sun really went to work on your weather. Now a look at the Dakota Magic Casino view there. Beautiful skies in the I-29 corridor of along the South Dakota border. Temperatures by midnight tonight will be in the mid-20s. Grand Forks similarly, we'll see some 20s as we go through the evening. Our wind is going to continue at around 10 to 15 miles per hour through the evening hours. We'll have details on how low we go tonight, and we'll look at a beautiful warming trend as we head toward the close of our work week here in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Hutch. Authorities say a 21-year-old suspect argued with a man before killing him outside his home in Beltrami County. Court documents say Montana Cutbank shot the victim unprovoked on Tuesday night. According to court documents, Cutbank went to the victim's home, started an argument, then shot the victim in the head with a sawed-off shotgun. Authorities caught up with Cutbank this past weekend and arrested him. We're learning that a brutal attack by 4 people began after the victim was thrown out of a friend's home. It happened Monday afternoon at 809 10th Street South in Fargo. That's in the neighborhood just south of St. Anthony's Church. Officers found the victim bleeding and uncooperative. Court documents tell how the victim was kicked out of the apartment, so he broke a window and punched one of the suspects in the face. Authorities say that's when the fight started. Cell phone video led police to believe Valine Blueshield was hitting the victim with an axe. 3 others were also arrested. The condition of the victim isn't known yet. New crime data shows an increase in what Fargo police call preventable crimes for the month of November. Police say there were 133 burglaries in the city last month, with most of them in and around the downtown area.
The primary factor that we saw was apartment complexes, which lead to the garage burglaries, where individuals are breaking into one garage and then they're gaining access to multiple other ones, or they're crossing wires in the keypads.
They remind you to take valuables out of your vehicle, even when it's locked in your garage, and say it's important to talk with property managers about making garages and underground parking more secure. The FBI is reminding shoppers to be on the lookout for scams this holiday season. They've got some advice that you can use, especially if you're shopping online. When you find the retailer or website you want, do your homework to make sure it's legit. See if they're listed with the Better Business Bureau. Look at the company's reviews and complaints. Make sure their address, email, and phone number are real. And be wary of online retailers offering goods at significantly discounted prices. With the pandemic fueling demand for pets, the Better Business Bureau is warning of an increase in pet scams. The BBB says you should avoid buying a pet without seeing it in person. Avoid wiring money. Beware of websites or ads with spelling errors. And if the price is too good to be true, it's probably a scam. The BBB also recommends that you get 2 references from the breeder. President Trump is pressing ahead with his legal fight to overturn the 2020 election, and he may be making plans to run again if it fails. With 7 weeks to go until he takes office, Joe Biden is making plans to tackle the coronavirus. Skylar Henry reports from Delaware.
President-elect Joe Biden is keeping his transition team focused on the pandemic. Today, he took part in a virtual roundtable of small business owners. Members of the incoming Biden administration say they need to take urgent action to stabilize the economy. Currently, more than 10 million people are out of work in the U.S.
Right now, the full Congress should come together and pass a robust package for relief.
Congress remains deadlocked on an emergency coronavirus relief bill, something President-elect Biden has called crucial. President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris are working from here in Delaware ahead of Inauguration Day, now just 7 weeks away.
We love you, President!
President Trump has yet to concede the race to Mr. Biden and is still asking courts to overturn the result. At a White House Christmas party on Tuesday, the president hinted that he will run again if his legal efforts fail.
It's been an amazing 4 years. We're trying to do another 4 years, otherwise I'll see you in 4 years.
Tuesday, Attorney General William Barr said the Department of Justice has seen no evidence of voter fraud that would have changed the election's outcome. The White House downplayed that remark Wednesday, saying Barr was not commenting on President Trump's still pending civil court claims. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Wilmington, Delaware.
The Justice Department is investigating a scheme that allegedly sought to lobby White House officials to grant pardons to unnamed individuals. The DOJ says no current or past government officials are the target of the investigation. The Canadian Prime Minister plans to keep his borders closed until COVID cases drop in the U.S. and globally. Justin Trudeau talked about his plan on CBC Radio, mentioning conversations he's had with Joe Biden, including the American government doing more in response to the pandemic.
In my conversation with the president-elect, we spent much time talking about the coronavirus and talking about how he wanted to do more and really step up in terms of their government response. I said that's welcome news, but ultimately the decisions around the border will be made on the best interest of Canadians.
Trudeau pointed out that he favors Biden's approach to handling the pandemic better than President Trump's. North Dakota has 486 new COVID cases and 12 new deaths. 92 of the new cases are in Cass County. Minnesota is reporting new COVID-19 cases, over 5,100 new coronavirus cases, 77 new deaths. Those numbers come amid fewer tests being conducted. A Moorhead man's good deed is going viral, and it all started because he stopped at Jimmy John's for lunch. David Sapp says he was in the drive-thru at the sub shop Tuesday when the car in front of him paid it forward and picked up the tab for his sandwich. Sapp says that prompted him to turn around and donate $50 to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in honor of the person who bought him a sandwich.
It's been a rough year, and I just thought maybe some joy sparked out there. You know, it sparked joy in my life that someone thought enough to buy me lunch for some reason.
Sapp says the cause is near and dear to his heart because his mother-in-law, Sandy, is currently battling lymphoma for the 3rd time. Tonight, you can take in some holiday cheer by watching the Rockefeller Christmas tree lighting. It'll be broadcast on KVLY starting at 7 o'clock. The tree is a 75-foot Norway spruce and has more than 5 miles of lights on it. Let's find out more about, it sounds like Hutch's house, right? Let's find out more about that forecast. Hutch is standing by with all the details.
And
hey
I
there.
cannot imagine what 5 miles of light balled up. It would be a mess. I don't know how. Yeah, the tangles would be hard to get out. And our weather, we're untangling from a day of cloud cover here in the FM area. We started out, though, with clear skies. And as we set your time lapse in motion, you see a beautiful sunrise, and then boom, here come the clouds. And it was a gray day and limiting our temperatures into the 20s and low 30s for much of the day. Finally breaking out of those clouds a little later in the day. That allowed our temperatures to warm up. Notice our western counties that saw more sunshine were in the 40s today. 41 Grand Forks, Hallock, and 42 in Jamestown. A lot of low 30s across central Minnesota, though, with those clouds lingering. Take a look at that Dakota Magic Casino camera right now, and we're treated to a gorgeous setting sun out in the southwestern sky. Right now at Hector, 30 degrees on the thermometer, 34 at Moorheads Airport. Our wind continues now from the southwest at 6 miles per hour. Temperatures are near freezing for most locations. That's why Hutch's white line is wobbling all over the place there. A little warmer out to the west, but you too are cooling off fairly rapidly. Cooling off more slowly, though, in Minnesota, where temperatures, as we saw, peaked today near 30 degrees. We're still in that same ballpark thanks to the blanket of cloud cover in your area. Your hour-by-hour forecast, if you watch this bank of clouds, it will continue to drift off to the east as we head toward the late evening hours tonight. Temperatures will slip into the 20s by 10 o'clock, and that's where we stay overnight. We don't get too cool because Hutch's wind arrows here illustrate that we'll be having that west and southwest wind throughout the night, and that will help to stir the atmosphere, slowing how fast it cools. So we'll be in those 20s to start out our Thursday. And look at this, no clouds showing up here on the forecast with a west breeze that will continue. The sunshine goes to work, and we'll be back in the 40s for the afternoon out in our western counties, and we'll have a shot at that temperature right here in the FM area and in Grand Forks as well. Heading into your afternoon in Lakes Country, a lot of mid-30s. So everyone enjoys a nice warm-up for your Thursday. Here's a look at how things are going to fare here in Fargo, starting out in the low 20s. We'll have that wind westerly, breezy in the early part of the day, so it'll have that cool feel to it as you're heading out for a morning walk. Make sure, though, that you're enjoying the temperatures in the 40s because not all Decembers are this beautiful. We stay quiet and clear with a breeze that decreases late in the day. Here's a snapshot of the 3 o'clock hour in your hometown. Temperatures 40 to 45 degrees from the James River Valley through the Cheyenne River Valley and the Red River Valley. Out in Lakes Country, you can expect afternoon temperatures on your way home from work between 33 degrees in Roseau to 36 in Wadena and in Detroit Lakes. Well, Mother Nature a little confused about the seasons. This photo says it all. We've got ice, we've got liquid water, and Nick captured this in Wahpeton at the Kidder Dam. Thanks for taking the time to upload that. Hey, I'll take these warm temperatures. How long will they last, you ask? Well, at least until Friday, as we'll see another day, I think near 40 degrees, and even better on Saturday. Many of us will see 40 or better. How about next week? Well, we do get a little cooler weather blowing its way in on Sunday, Andrea. But after that, there's a nice rebound that carries us into the middle of next week, and we're right back to where we close off this work week. All in all, it looks like a very quiet week of weather. I don't even see a snowflake on Hutch's 7-day forecast. And as far as I'm concerned, my shovel needs a much-deserved break after last winter.
What shovel? Didn't we all get rid of them? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where it is. I'll have to see if I can find it. We'll need it sooner or later.
Yes, of course we will. Thanks, Hutch. In tonight's consumer news, Walmart is dropping the $35 order minimum for Walmart Plus subscribers. The change goes into effect on Friday. It only applies to items bought on Walmart.com. Groceries, which are delivered from Walmart stores, will still have the $35 minimum order. Walmart Plus, which was launched just over 2 months ago, costs $98 a year or $12.95 a month. The National Retail Federation says the number of online-only shoppers jumped 44% over the Thanksgiving weekend. Stein Mart is getting a second chance. The company that breathed new life into Pier 1 imports by making it an online-only store will do the same for Stein Mart. Retail e-commerce ventures will pay a little more than $6 million for the Stein Mart name, as well as its private label brands, domain names, social media assets, and other customer data. The Florida-based Stein Mart filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in August and eventually closed all of its 281 stores. Americans are stocking up again, with another deadly wave of the coronavirus likely to take grip this winter. More than a third of consumers say they have already started stockpiling household supplies. According to a new study released by Lending Tree, nearly 87 million Americans are hoarding products like toilet paper and hand sanitizer. An additional 35% plan to stockpile but haven't done so yet. Almost half of Americans said there were some supplies they regret not purchasing when the first wave of the pandemic hit. It was a special day in the lunchroom for Clara Barton Elementary students. Fifth grader Bennett Meyer got to serve his award-winning dressing to hundreds of classmates. He was named the Family Wellness Cooking Kids Champion for his white wine vinegar dressing. Bennett says he enjoys experimenting in the kitchen and came up with his recipe at home one night before dinner.
Family Wellness came to our school and gave us cooking lessons, and then they said there's a cooking competition. So I decided that it would be fun to do that, so I entered my dressing.
Congratulations, and the rest is history. If you want the recipe, we've got it on our homepage. You can download the VNL News app and click on this story. Now let's take a look at today's health news. The number of new cases of COVID-19 in children has reached another record high. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics and the Children's Hospital Association, nearly 154,000 new pediatric cases were reported last week. That is the highest weekly increase since the pandemic began. There was also a 29% increase in pediatric cases over the last 2 weeks. Over 1.3 million children have now tested positive for COVID-19 and make up 12% of all cases. It is typically known as the most wonderful time of the year, but the holidays may be more difficult this season, especially for children. A new survey shows 2/3 of parents worry about their children's mental health the longer the pandemic continues. That's why pediatric psychologists with nationwide children's hospitals say it's important to build resiliency in kids to prepare them for what's ahead. They say families should have honest conversations about how traditions may change this year and encourage kids to talk about their feelings. Cancer cases in teenagers and young adults are on the rise, according to a new study from Penn State College of Medicine. It shows cancers in young people have increased by 30% over the past 4 decades. Kidney cancer has seen the largest jump, followed by thyroid and gastrointestinal cancers. The most common cancers in young males were testicular, melanoma, and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. For young women, the most common were breast, thyroid, cervical, and uterine cancers. Okay, let's check in with Hutch for one last look at our Wednesday evening weather. Hutch?
Andrea, thanks so much. We are seeing a decrease in cloud cover here in the Fargo area and the southern Red River Valley as they drift into central Minnesota. I think our central Minnesota counties will have these clouds lingering a little longer. Temperatures now slipping into those low 30s for many of us. We're on our way to the 20s for the evening and overnight. Now, we start our day tomorrow in the 20s. We'll see abundant sunshine across the area, and a wind from the west will be at around 10 to 20 miles per hour, so a little breezy. But take a look at these temperatures. The eastern half of North Dakota enjoying 40-degree weather in many locations, and a lot of mid and even a few upper 30s in Lakes Country. And up near Lake of the Woods, we'll see temperatures near freezing and just above. All in all, our stretch of warm weather and quiet weather continues over the next 7 days and beyond the way things are looking, with temperatures hitting those 40s for many. Friday, again Saturday, Sunday, a little bit of a cool down, but it's a nice rebound into next week as well. All in all, we cannot complain about this. This gets us almost halfway through the month of December without a significant snow chance. Andrea?
I mean, you know, we like the sledding and the ice skating, but yes, the easier it is to get around in December, the better.
You like that then? Okay, we'll remember that when it's snowy.
Thanks, Hutch. Have a good night, everyone.